Namaste and welcome back. You're watching me Yashodhara Singh on my channel on YouTube. Today we are going to discuss the lassitude of being good. The characterization of being good changes with age and time. During childhood, being good meant to do as was told. During our teens, it meant staying out of trouble and evading raging hormones. When the single status becomes non-existent once we are married, we are told being good now means learn to adjust and compromise. Finding happiness in sacrifices and making your spouse happy. And then one day, you wake up to realize you did exactly as was expected of you. You've been accepted by society at each juncture, but feel intrinsically sentenced to a lifetime of unrestricted despair. This is a moment in time that could affect everything about you, including what has been instilled. It is essential to remember that our society is clear about equations at every stage and defines our role in it. You break out of the role and you are tainted as a rule breaker. Being good doesn't make you happy, contrary to this ridiculous belief of making others happy will make you feel the same way. Continuous sacrifices made for the sake of those who surround us will dull your sparkle after a while, since reciprocation becomes a favor done to you or a reward on anniversaries and birthdays for how you kept it together. The system of each culture teaches us how to barter within a family, learning values that would make us productive citizens in the future. That doesn't show anymore, probably because the system failed us at several levels. What we were taught wasn't what was practiced by those who did. What we tried didn't work because the method was wrong from the very start. What we hoped was to please others, strangling our wants and desires. There was too much of madness for any method to work across the board. Social norms, established over a period of time, are manufactured for the sole purpose of maintaining a comfortable existence. If one followed the route map from point A to point B, hardly any problems would surface. Do your studies, get a job and or get married, have children, raise them, retire graciously and die. That is the life declared as one led being good. Sounded like a train wreck to me. Imagine how we have managed to shackle our own selves, along with generations to come, in a belief that existed when societies were built. Evolution requires fine-tuning, depending on the changing nature of humans who make the society. It used to be compulsory to abide by every rule, lest it rusts due to it being left unused. Even if you didn't want to, you had to, because you were expected to. It would be in poor taste to call this form of appeasement as mob mentality, because we associate that with violence or physical torture. But means of mental torture are far more dignified and hidden, is it? When a government oppresses, there are processions on the street covered by the media, endorsed by famous faces who parrot what has been taught to them. When a group starts an activity that is non-agreeable by a more powerful faction, it is subdued with force if required. The exact thing happens to us, albeit small scale, individually. Everything from A to Z is disbalanced, but no one wants to do anything to step into the limelight. It is far easier to vent out our frustration on those who are weaker or crib in social circles about how awful existence has become than stand up to be the one to change everything by changing your own self. It is a pebble that will cause a ripple in an ocean, Of that you can be certain. But there will be other pebbles that will continue till a wave occurs, big enough to make a difference. You can be certain of this as well, because the first move is the tiniest, the toughest, but labeled as the beginning of a revolution, a trend of a chain reaction that cannot be contained.